In case you thought smoking and drinking were powerful addictions, here's one more addiction that is even more powerful than any other addiction. And this addiction is the addiction to pain. And what makes it so powerful? Because it is at a very, very unconscious level. All the other addictions are somewhere at a conscious level. You're aware that you're addicted to smoking or drinking or sweets or whatever else it is. But pain is such an unconscious addiction that most often people are not even aware that they're addicted to pain. And it might seem strange, right? Why would anybody be addicted to pain? It's even more surprising. People are addicted to pain because it gets them some sort of love and attention that they may not be otherwise getting. Find it hard to believe? Think about it. Some people get their attention only when they're unwell. The rest of the time, people don't give them attention. Some people get attention only when they're talking about problems. When they talk about good things, nobody bothers listening to them. Some people get their attention only when they're crying. When they're not crying, people don't take them seriously, or people don't take their sentiments as seriously. Now, why do we do that? Well, that's a question for another day. But here, right now, the most important thing is, are you aware if you have unconsciously become addicted to pain? And are you aware if someone around you in close quarters is addicted to pain and you are in some way fueling that addiction? It's very important to know if you are fueling it in some way. Here's a simple example. Let's say you're a parent and you usually have a particular style of dealing with your kids, which is, not always in the nicest of mood and tone. You're a little, let's say, for lack of a better word, brash or very upfront or very straight to the point. And let's say they fall ill. When they fall ill, if you give them a lot of love, warmth and care, once in a while it's all right. But if every time they fall ill, you really become transformed to this wonderful, kind-hearted human being, which you otherwise are not with them, now the child unconsciously starts believing that my parent is well behaved with me and gives me all that I want only when I'm in a not okay condition. When I'm okay, my parent doesn't have time for me, my parent doesn't even look at me, my parent doesn't even listen to half of the things that I'm saying. And this is all at an unconscious level transaction, guys. Nobody willingly takes it on to them to get addicted to pain. It is something that happens over time based on repeated instances. So that's why we need to be aware if we are fueling it in some way. So what do? If somebody falls ill, I'm not saying don't give them attention, but I'm saying make sure you anyways give people the healthy attention that they deserve, not because they're in pain, but just because they're healthy, they're happy. Give attention to people when they're healthy and happy so that they don't feel like only when they're in pain they get attention. Right? That's when it becomes a negative motivation. That's when it becomes a sort of an addiction even. Some of us are also called agony aunts and agony uncles. What does it mean? Anybody who has any problem, my antennas go up and I start listening to them fully. Why? Because I want to problem solve for them. I want to be the solution provider. Now the same thing somebody is talking about and I think, that's all right. You don't need me. I'm not paying attention to you. So some of us are so glued and addicted to solving problems for others that we unconsciously land up paying more attention to people only when they talk about problems, not so much when they're talking about good things. And so what happens? People suddenly figure out that, if I want this person's attention, it looks like I only have to talk about problems and troubles. The more you start listening to problems and troubles, the more the person feels this is all that I need to do so that I get that person's full attention. So watch out if you are being an agony aunt or an uncle to somebody in your life. Are you fueling people to keep on talking about troubles just because you're going on listening to it? Does that mean you suddenly disconnect the phone the next time your friend calls you when they're in pain? No, certainly not. But all I'm saying is make sure you give them enough and more attention when they're healthy, happy and sound. When they're healthy and happy, if you give them more attention, when they're not feeling so well, you can still offer them support. But if all your attention goes only to pick up people who've fallen, that means anyone who's standing might not be standing next to you. You might find only people who are falling all the way around you. And after a point in time, you'll feel like, oh, it's so demanding to be me. I have to be there for this person, that person, So which means you feel burdened at the end of it. So it's neither helping you nor is it helping the other person, because the other person is addicted to pain and you are addicted to serving people who are in pain. So your entire life will be a little out of balance. And just in case you're one of those who suddenly realized you're unconsciously addicted to pain, please watch out for it. Tell yourself you don't need to get attention in these ways. People will give you attention even if you're healthy, and more attention when you're healthy. All of us like to have a nice, wonderful person next to us who's in a pleasant mood, right? So it's not because the other moods are not good. You can always visit briefly those states, but if you tend to stay stuck in those states for the wrong reasons, that's when your life might really look out of gear. So for your sake and for others, make sure you have a thin line of difference, whether you're giving over emphasis on pain or whether you're gently making sure you're giving enough attention to people when they're doing well too. Watch out for unconscious or unnecessary dependencies on each other, and help each other out in ways that are healthy, ecological, and wonderful. Yeah. So wishing you wonderful relationships ahead. Take care of yourself, take care of others, but all in the right balance. And this is Narmada Rao, psychologist, NLP trainer, signing out. Thank you for watching.